Very much. Relebuile Latelikota. I now wish to invite the Honorable Buthelezi to the podium. Shenge, you have the floor, sir.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, His Excellency the Deputy President, the Honorable the Acting Chief Justice, Justice Musaneke, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Deputy Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, Honorable Premiers, members of the Mandela family and the Zulu family, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Deputy Ministers, fellow South Africans. It is with great awe that I stand here to say a few words after the passing away of a giant who was not only my leader in the ANC Youth League in the 50s, but later a senior leader of our movement. I feel as overawed, Mr. Speaker, as I did when I stood up at Groudville to deliver the funeral oration at the funeral of my leader and mentor, Inkosi Albert Luthuli, at the request of his family and the external mission of the ANC. Matiba was not only my leader, but proved to be a real friend to me in all kinds of political weather that the country has gone through. Today, a nation mourns, the world mourns. The passing of Nelson Mandela closes a chapter in history that will be remembered as a time of struggle, a time of freedom, and of great transformation. Yet this chapter was only the preface, pointing towards the story that is yet to come. As we continue to write the story of South Africa, let us be inspired by Mandela's legacy. Let us remember his passion for reconciliation, his capacity for forgiveness, and his bold leadership. Let us also remember his honesty, which is what I want to talk about in my few minutes. Mr. Mandela's old-style honesty was a value that my generation admired. I respected him for an admission he made in April 2002. He said, and I quote him verbatim, "We have used every ammunition to destroy Buthelezi, and we have failed. He is still there. He is a formidable survivor. We cannot ignore him," unquote. That admission, fellow South Africans, made many in the organization quite unhappy. But that was the kind of brutal frankness that positioned Mandela as a leader among his peers. Even as a head of state, his honesty drove him to make admissions that few others at the helm of a country would dare to make. On the 1st of June, standing on this podium, 1995, President Mandela spoke in this assembly about the Shell House massacre of the 28th March 1994, in which 8 civilians died when security at the ANC headquarters opened fire. In total, 60 lives were lost and 300 were injured. A year later, standing on this podium, in this assembly, Mr. Mandela said, and I quote him verbatim, according to the Hansard, he said, "I gave instructions to our security that if they attack the house, please, you must protect that house, even if you have to kill people," unquote. This admission that he himself had given that order distressed Mandela's comrades. And I can hear the murmurs which I expected. But 6 days later, he stood again in the National Assembly on this podium and reminded all of us, and I'm quoting verbatim, he said, "For reconciliation to have real meaning, the truth should be brought to light, unquote. As painful as it was for me to hear my president's honesty about Shell House enhanced my admiration at the same time for him, because he was a man of truth. Because some people regard lying as a trademark of us politicians. But he was not a petty politician like the rest of us. He was a great statesman. And I know that many still carry the wound of Shell House and the multitude of wounds inflicted by the People's War. I too carry scars in my heart, but there is a saying that has defined my life, and one that Madiba used to repeat as well. Quote, the definition of a saint is a sinner who dies trying, unquote. There is no one more deserving of forgiveness than Nelson Mandela, and few who epitomize forgiveness more. Now that the Lord has called him home, I urge those who carry any wounds to forgive him. It is true, after all, that errare humanum est. In pouring all the accolades that he richly deserves, let us also remember that he was a fallible human being like all of us. After all, even Christ, the Son of God, refused to receive the accolade that he was good, and he said only God, his Father, could be called good. Following the rapture between the Inkatha and the ANC in 1979, I endured, Mr. Speaker, vilification and pain. But even at the height of the campaign to destroy me, Mr. Mandela himself showed integrity, a very rare attribute these days. In 1986, the Commonwealth Eminent Persons Group visited South Africa to assess the situation under apartheid and met with Mr. Mandela on Robben Island. His Excellency General Olusegun Obasanjo, the former head of state of Nigeria before that, later recounted to me that they asked Mandela who I was, because they were hearing so much about me. Mandela answered, quote, Buthelezi is a freedom fighter in his own right.
Order, members, order.
Yes, this is an expression of rare honesty, as much as an expression of our friendship, which endured for as long as I knew him. He expressed his confidence in me time and again. We are all witnesses. As we served in a democratic government under him, appointing me as acting president in his absence. He was not obliged to do that. And that's why there are murmurings even now. Because he didn't like it, but he did it. That is the quality of the giant we're honoring today. My only regret as we prepare to inter the remains of our beloved Madiba is that his long pursued vision of reconciliation is not complete. He charged those who came after him to take up the cause of reconciliation, yet he enters eternity with this dream still unachieved. The dishonored agreement of 19 April 1984 signed by Mr. Mandela, Mr. de Klerk, and myself still haunts our efforts.
Honourable Member, I regret to tell you that your time has expired, sir.
Sir, can I ask a favor? Can all the men stand up? Ah! Dalipunga!
I thank the Honourable. Okay. I now wish to invite the Honourable J.J. Maglua to the podium. Order, members, order.
Honourable Speaker, the 5th of December 2013,